that cord out,
Spend enough
and throw it
time.
in
Get this
deal,
rabble
grind it
rousel
up,
together.
and they make these ingots,
Draw.
and they fill up these 2,000 pound boxes.
Red on or off?
Load them on flatbeds.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. This is the August 8th Building Advisory Board meeting. Chair requests staff confirmation of the Kansas Open Meeting Act requirement notice has been properly provided.
I can confirm that the packet was posted and the required notice of the meeting was provided.
Thank you. All right, let's begin with a roll call. Would you
Mark
start,
Frazier.
Ryan White, William McBride,
Mike McCall.
Greg Nichols.
Rick Walters,
Scott Kraus,
David Holmgren,
Charles Renz.
Kevin Cool,
Lance Smith.
And we want to commend everyone for being here, even on time, because I think that's the first time since I've been on the board that everybody's been here. So wonderful job, gentlemen. All right, let's move to item 2, approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
second.
Okay, I have a motion from Mark. I heard a second from Rick, but I know somebody else down there did. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. All right, new business. We do not have any public hearing items, either quasi-jurisdictional or legislative. Is that correct? No
That is
updates?
correct.
Okay. Administrative items. We want to introduce new
Yeah,
BAB
first item
member.
over here on the end, we have Mr. Lance Smith, who has joined us for the first time in person. We haven't had a lot of meetings since we brought him on some months back. So we just want to say welcome, Mr. Smith. Thank you. He has extensive mechanical experience, and he's sitting in the seat for the licensed mechanical engineer. At times, if we have engineers that we can grab, we do that, and if we don't, we find somebody with a whole lot of experience in trade, and Mr. Smith has agreed to help us out in that regard. So thank you very much.
All right, welcome aboard. No pun intended. All right, our code review subcommittees, item 3.4. You ready?
All right, gentlemen, we have been through, in this code review cycle, the 2018 IBC, the 2018 IEBC. In fact, let me just spell those out. The 2018 International Building Code, the 2018 International Existing Building Code, 2018 Uniform Swimming Pool, Hot Tub, and Spa Code, and the 2017 National Electrical Code. And so we today need to form subcommittees of 5 members each in order to review the remaining code books for our review cycle. Those are, and in the intended order of review, 2018 Uniform Plumbing Code, 2018 Uniform Mechanical Code, 2018 International Residential Code, 2018 International Energy Conservation Code, and the 2018 International Fire Code. And we will have some of the guys from FDD come over, fire marshal and perhaps an inspector come over and sit with us for the fire code review. So we have those 5. And just for your information, in case it affects scheduling or who might volunteer, we're of the mind that continuing to meet every other Tuesday is helpful, but what we'd like to do with the plumbing and mechanical codes is run them at the same time on alternating Tuesdays in order to work through them pretty quickly. And so you might think about that as you're thinking about volunteering your time. Ordinarily, we have a week break and meet every other Tuesday in subcommittee. For the plumbing and mechanical codes, we're looking at staggering those so we can just meet every Tuesday until we're through those. So I will turn it over to all of you, and let's see what
I'm
you
going to
give
go
us.
ahead and volunteer to serve on that committee.
On which or both?
We're going to do all these at once, right?
We're
The
gonna
same committee is going to do them all?
No, I'm sorry if that was unclear. There'll be 5 independent committees, but as far as scheduling goes, we will run the uniform plumbing, for example. We plan to try to meet next Tuesday, August 15th, the Uniform Plumbing Code Subcommittee. beginning next Tuesday, and then meet every other Tuesday. And then on the Tuesdays on which the Plumbing Code Subcommittee is not meeting, the Mechanical Code Subcommittee would meet. And so we'll be meeting every week for those two codes.
Well, I'll just volunteer to sit on each one of those.
And I'll volunteer for the uniform codes, both.
I'll volunteer for both plumbing and mechanical.
All right, let's, Shandy, are you getting this?
I'm getting
or-
it, yep.
Okay. Before we do that, may I ask probably you've already thought it through, but is your staff going to be able to handle two at one time?
Yes, everyone
Thank
is
you
on
for that
board.
confirmation.
We are prepared to do that, yes. Thank you.
And you're planning to go in this order, so are you, once the plumbing, let's say the plumbing is finished, are you going to then pick up the residential code with that same alternating two? So if mechanical goes longer than plumbing, you're just going to sub in the next one on that Tuesday?
We will probably
pattern?
evaluate again at that time. Just like you wisely asked the question today, we'll probably consider that question again when we get there. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. For the sake of time, we may go ahead and do that. That we know that the residential code probably is not going to take long. There's not much of the code we review because we do adopt the plumbing and the mechanical and electrical and all of that elsewhere. And so we may opt to go ahead and start quickly, but we'll reevaluate.
Pause that. So right now, probably the best thing to do is get plumbing and mechanical committees,
Yes.
and then,
Well, I think what he's wanting to do is get them all settled, so we don't have to have another meeting.
Right.
To pick
Right.
committee members.
Right. It also allows staff to give all of you plenty of lead time to know when the subcommittees will begin to meet.
So we're still looking for volunteers for the uniform plumbing and mechanical.
I will volunteer also.
okay, so far I have Mark, Rick, and I forgot who. Scott, okay.
And Lance.
But you were for both plumbing and mechanical, okay. And Lance. And both, oh, I know you were both, okay. So right now I've got Mark, Rick, Scott, and Lance volunteering for both plumbing and mechanical. We need at least one more for
You need one more
either or both. Do they
for both. Well,
they don't have to be the same five for plumbing and mechanical,
Right.
but you need to have five on each.
but are the 5 that are volunteering for this, the 4 that are already doing it, are you doing plumbing and mechanical?
Yes.
What I've,
So we need one
you.
more guy for,
either both or each one.
right.
I don't mind volunteering for one. I think I could do that one. It doesn't matter to me which one. I'd probably do plumbing if somebody else wants to volunteer for mechanical. Then you wouldn't have
I'll
it every
volunteer
week.
for mechanical.
Okay. I forgot your name. David, thank you. Too many names. I have like 4 Davids that work with me, so.
Drop in on you out there sometime. Too many names, less memory is yours.
I think that might be it. It might be age coming through. So right now, and we can have more than 5, right? Or
Yeah, I
5
don't
is
mind
a
if there are
good-
more than 5. Just understand it if there are 6, that a quorum would be 4, not 3.
Not 3.
And
You
so
gotta have one
sometimes
more
it
than
can be
that.
harder to meet with even numbers.
Seems like 5's always been a good working
5
number
works
for
well,
us.
yeah.
Okay, I'll confirm with staff. Is this who you have working for plumbing committee, plumbing subcommittee? Mark, Rick, Scott, Lance, Greg. And then for mechanical committee, Mark, Rick, Scott, Lance, and David. Okay, so do we need to take a vote for that approval?
Yeah, that's up to you. It seems like it would be wise. That was pretty quick and easy.
I'm seeing nods by
We might seal that
staff,
one.
so let's do it as a slate, those 2 groups of 5. And does anyone else want to volunteer? Okay, let's do a slate of plumbing and mechanical, those groups we talked about. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 5 that volunteered.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mark, a second. This time I'll give it to Mike over here because my right ear's leaning that way. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We have 2 of the subcommittees set. We want to go ahead and set, my understanding is we want to go ahead and set the 5. All right.
You can just write my name down by that, each one of those.
Gotcha, Mark. Does anyone else want to do one or more of the rest of them? Residential, energy, conservation, and fire.
I'll do residential.
Okay, David will do residential. I'll do residential, that kind of fitting, because that's where my contractor is.
I'll do residential and energy code.
Just so everyone knows, this is my last meeting because my term's out in August. So that's the reason I'm not volunteering for any of these. So I will be here.
I told him he couldn't do anything.
Hey, you're welcome to come by, Mike.
I'll do energy conservation,
Charles.
and I'll do fire.
Okay, thank you, Charles. So we have 4 right now for residential, 3 on energy, 2 on fire. Okay,
You can put me down for all 3 of them.
Ryan, thank you.
Hey, Sean, how do you see these going sequentially? Are these remaining 3 all going to be happening
I'll
at
get
the
back
same
on there
time?
and
How many
listening.
days a week is this?
Not necessarily, no. The plan for now is
All 3 of those are
plumbing and
pretty quick.
mechanical running at the same time every other Tuesday. After that, we likely will return to meeting every other Tuesday, only one subcommittee, and having a week off from the review cycle. If that works particularly well with plumbing and mechanical, and we decide that might make sense for residential and energy code, I suppose we could, but it is not the plan, and it would not become the plan without consulting all of those people who are going to serve on the subcommittees, of course. Yeah, so one at a time after plumbing and mechanical is the plan.
Then I'll do residential too. And I'm done.
Right now I have 4 on energy. Okay. So I need 1 more for fire, and I can do it if nobody else wants to. Okay. So we're in I can step off of residential, or we have 6 that I have listed as residential. I don't need to be on it, but the names I have, yeah, Mark, David, Charles, Scott, Ryan, and me. It does, if we don't have 4 at a meeting, we can't take any action. That's what Sean was alluding to earlier. So with 5 members, we can have action with 3 there. Doesn't make any difference to me. But that means we have to commit and be there.
Getting 4 out of 6 is going to be tough sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll jump off if somebody wants, but if somebody else wants to jump off, I'll stay on it. I do residential work, so
Why don't I
I'm
jump off
interested.
of it and I can attend whenever? And then, because you're in the field more, I have the license, but my primary thing is a different job, so. Okay. So right now, the slate that we're gonna go to for residential code, Mark, Charles, David, Scott, and Ryan. For energy conservation code, Mark, Charles, Scott, Kevin, and Ryan. For fire code, Mark, Charles, Kevin, Ryan, and Greg.
Should be William, not Kevin.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I knew that too. I apologize. It's William.
Kevin was.
I know Kevin. We can throw Kevin on there. Sorry, William.
I've been on all the others.
Yeah. So, with those corrections, that's the slate. And you have that as a slate. Okay, so, do I have a motion for the slate of committee members for residential, energy conservation, and fire codes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. That was Billy.
Okay.
I hesitated, waiting.
Thank you. It's always good to have participation. All
That one's
right.
Billy.
So we have a first from Mark and a second from Billy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. You have 5 subcommittee teams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have no other administrative items, but I will take a moment to mention that the next time you all get together, and we're expecting this to be next month, about a month from now, we'll be doing the annual Citizen Board training. If you've been around a while, you remember that. We do that every year in September. So it's very likely we will be in here, maybe in the adjoining room there to the west, and handling that next month. So be looking for those email notifications. But that's all the administrative items I know about, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any of the committee members or board members? Do you have any questions, concerns, comments? Okay. No unfinished business. Let's go to public forum. I do not see members of the public, but thank you for attending in abstention. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
We'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. For a second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you all very much.